Hello and welcome back to Revise GCSEhistory.co.uk. This is video 3 in the topic, the Mormons, and in this video today we're going to be looking at the Mormon journey west and what the Mormons did after Joseph Smith was killed in jail by an angry mob in 1845, and where they decided to go next. Okay, so Joseph Smith was shot and killed in prison in 1845 by a mob of 200 angry non-Mormons. So, shot and killed. The new leader of the Mormons who succeeded Joseph Smith was called Brigham Young. Whoops. Oh, what have I done here? I was trying to undo that underliney bit. There we are, try again. Sorry, a bit of a bodge. Oh, third time lucky. So Brigham Young was the new leader who succeeded Joseph Smith, and here's a picture of Brigham Young up here. And Brigham Young was convinced that the Mormons would never be able to live in peace in the East. Sorry, they would never be left in peace in the East, and he was convinced that they needed to move further westwards. So Brigham Young wanted to take the Mormons somewhere so isolated that no one would choose to persecute them anymore. So he didn't want to take them somewhere popular where everybody would want to live. He wanted to take them somewhere rather isolated where they wouldn't be persecuted for their religious beliefs. So Young famously said, "If there is a place on this earth that no one wants, that's the place I'm looking for." So he wanted somewhere where they wouldn't be persecuted for their religious beliefs. So Brigham Young and the decision to go west. Brigham Young had heard from the guidebooks about the Oregon Trail, so he'd heard from guidebooks, that the most isolated area in the entire West was by the Great Salt Lake, beyond the Rocky Mountains. So, at the time, the Mormons were in Nauvoo, and they needed to travel across the plains, cross the Rocky Mountains to get to Great Salt Lake in the west, which was a very isolated area where nobody wanted to live. The books also talked about the streams fed by snow from the mountains, so that was a way of getting water supply, and the good soil and grass, so there was real potential for growing food there, although nobody had bothered at the time. At the time, the Great Salt Lake belonged to Mexico, so if the Mormons did decide to move there, they would be outside the control of the US government, which they wanted. In September 1845, Brigham Young decided to leave Nauvoo. So, the Mormon journey west. Brigham Young was a brilliant organiser. He was practical and more down-to-earth than Smith. So, I'm presuming everyone knows what down-to-earth means, sort of calls a spade is the old saying, you know. He's quite down-to-earth with people and tells them how it is. He was also a determined man, so this made him perfect for the new Mormon leader. Preparation for the move went on all winter. This included building wagons, collecting equipment, and gathering food supplies for the journey. Advanced pioneer bands left first to set up camps along the way, where the other Mormons could stay. They planted crops and marked out routes for the rest of the Mormons to follow. The rest of the Mormons had to begin their journey before they were properly prepared, because angry mobs of Gentiles, non-Mormons, began looting their homes in Nauvoo. So, how did the Mormons manage to successfully cross the Great Plains? Well, an important reason why they managed to do it successfully was because they built winter quarters. Because angry mobs began looting their homes, the Mormons didn't really have any choice of when they left Nauvoo. This meant that they had to leave during the winter. So what the Mormons did is they built winter quarters on the Great Plains, and the winter quarters was a place where the Mormons would spend the winter rather than trying to cross the plains all in one go, as it was impossible to cross the plains during the winter. Every wagon carried a loaded rifle to protect against attackers, and the Mormons were split into groups of 100. Each group was then split into 10 wagon groups, and each had a leader to keep them in line. So basically, Brigham Young was a brilliant organiser, and he divided the Mormons up well. Everyone stopped, ate and slept at the same time, and bugles, which are like little horns that make a sound, were sounded, so everyone knew what to do. So there was a lot of organisation, and everyone did stuff at the same time. the Mormons were taught to circle wagons in 2 lines to protect themselves from attack. So basically, Brigham Young was a great man, and he taught them how to do all of this stuff so they could cross the plains successfully. So, we've covered all the knowledge you need to know about the Mormon journey west in this video today. Here are 4 just quick basic questions based on the content of today's video. Pause the video here if you wanna, scribble down some answers to these questions. If not, just carry on watching, we'll do them together. Okay, so question 1. Why did Brigham Young want to take the Mormons somewhere isolated? Well, so they would not be persecuted anymore. In the East, they were constantly on the move due to persecution of their religious beliefs. He knew that if they lived somewhere in isolation, they could start their own community and be self-sufficient without relying on other people and without other people persecuting them. Give 2 reasons why Great Salt Lake was appealing to the Mormons. Well, it was territory of Mexico. That meant the US couldn't tell them what to do because it wasn't US territory, and it was isolated. I can also think of another one. They said it had good farming potential. Question 3, next question. Why did the Mormons have to leave before they were properly prepared? Mobs of non-Mormons began looting their homes. How were the Mormons able to spend the winter on the plains? Well, just look at that. They built quite impressive winter quarters where they would spend the winter without crossing the plains. Alright, thanks for watching this video today. There are the answers to the questions for this video. If you found the video useful, head over to the website revised at gcsehistory.co.uk, where you can find more help with your GCSE history revision. Thanks for watching, see you again soon, and good luck with your studies.